Hello and welcome, each and every one of you. With you today is me, Daiga, multilinguistic international coach therapist from DCT Center, and joining me today is Pat Forrester. She is frequency and health coach. She will introduce us with NES Health Scan system, which one can show you so many things which is not right in your energy flow. But that's everything after Pat does tell us how it really works. Hello, Pat. It's very nice to have you on my show. Thank you for coming.
And thank you for inviting me, Daiga. It's very nice to be here.
Can you tell us, please, what exactly is this NES Health Scan system?
Yes, I can. It's quite complicated because it goes back quite a long way. But there was a guy in Australia who was going to work out resonances. And well, he was a homeopath. He was a teacher of homeopathy. But the homeopathy wasn't doing what he wanted to do. He started to research different things and the energy sequence which they coincided with. And after many, many years, he ended up creating this NES system, which has been about recognizing and using journey for me, because I've been involved in resonance and healing for 30 years. First years ago, and it sort of went on from there. But it's one of these things down to, and I've been around this for many, many years, knowing that energy and frequencies can I mean, we know from when a singer, if they hit the right note, they can shatter a glass. And I studied Royal Rife, and Royal Rife actually many in the 1920s actually found a way of actually identifying viruses and diseases by their note. And if he played the same note back to them, these viruses and bacteria just exploded and went away. And it was that actually intrigued me. And it was from all this information that came through that I actually ended up learning about NES. And NES Health is absolutely amazing because it's so very visual. You can actually see what I'm talking about. You know, with many of the healing modalities, you can't actually see anything. Whereas with this, you've got a screenshot which actually tells you where things are going wrong and how you can put them right. And if it's to do with the mind as well as the body, you know, it gives you hints on how to change your emotional attachment to things or things, and gives you a lot more scope to actually make things better. So when I first got in, prior to getting involved with NES, I'd already researched all the scalar stuff, which is a German pulsed electromagnetic frequency device. It was excellent at helping with pain and lots of other things. Fantastic. But it was very, very expensive, and I wasn't too sure about it at that time. And I ended up buying a Russian copy. Really, it's not the same, but it does the same job. And it was much cheaper, and from that I learned a lot, and I did a lot with it, and I found it's amazing how just by using these pulsed electronic messages, you can actually effect change. I had one guy who had a really twisted back. I mean, it was amazing. It didn't have scoliosis, just stress, and he was a friend of my son's, and I said, "Come on, Rich, let me just have a go with my thing." And I did his back, and within 20 minutes, he stood up, and his back was straight, and he was amazed, and I was pleased, obviously. But that's the sort of effect you can have with these things. And so I had learned a lot about all this, and it's in. I've got tuning forks, and I've got other bits and pieces which I use, all in the frequency harmonics range. And then I came across NES. Now, it's a wonderful system. This actual system is phenomenal, because what they do is they take it's a snapshot in time with this scan. Originally we used the My Health, which is this sort of thing, and this was attached to the computer, and you'd just put your hand on it, do a 10-second scan, and then all this information would come up with whatever you wanted to find out from. And it wasn't just physical, it was emotional, trauma. There's so many aspects to it, and I'll go through the system in a minute, but there are so many aspects to it. It's not true, and it really gives you an in-depth picture of where you are at this point in time. Now, it's based on Chinese meridian therapy. It's all about the energy flow in the body, and if there are any blockages for whatever reason, you can be aware of them, you can do something about it, and it's a preemptive method of healing yourself, or trying to heal yourself. So I just found it absolutely fascinating, and whenever I do a scan on anybody, they always say, "Oh, it's so accurate. How can it do that?" It's absolutely amazing. The accuracy comes back. And when you're talking about the mind-body part of it, I mean, I don't know what's wrong with my clients most of the time. Sometimes they'll tell me, but quite often they won't. And I can say to them, "Do you feel abundant? Or do you feel?" There's lots of different words. They come up in lists, and sometimes they come up, and you say to the person, "Is this a problem with you? I don't want to know the reason why. I don't need to know what it's all about, but is it a problem?" And they'll say, "Yes, it is." And then sometimes they'll go into it with you. Sometimes it's too personal, and they won't, and that's absolutely fine. But the object is that you actually identify something which they then can go away and work. And this is what we need. We need to know what we want. We need to work on, because we're such complex creatures, and this just makes it easier to hone in a few. And with this system, when you've done one scan, you work on certain different things, and then you come back a month later and you have another scan. It's completely different. You've got a whole another load of things to work on. But we all know we're like onions. We've got loads of different layers of things which actually need to be worked through, and that's what this does, and it does it to a very great effect. So yeah, it's a fascinating system. Have you got anything you want to ask me? I mean, before I go into...
I actually hear bioresonance. I saw, and I was using a couple times bioresonance. Which one is similar? They putting like a lock of your hair in machine, and then it reads everything about you. But something,
yeah, really. But the nice thing about this one is you can have. Well, no, I just wanted to say that the bioresonance is, I've had it done too, and it's incredible. But the nice thing about this system is you can actually see it. It's actually on the screen, and you can have it printed off and sort of study it. But it actually gives you the ability to be able to see all these bits and pieces, which is really good.
Yeah, but, and then you as a coach, you actually looking for your clients, you doing this scan, and after that you working with those forks, tune forks.
Yes,
or what else you using in your work?
Right. From the NES point of view, we use two things. We use the My Health to effect change, because this has got no end of different frequencies on, and there's specific frequencies. So if you had a problem with your liver nodes, this has got a a bit on here that says liver nodes, and I can play that to your liver nodes, and it would start to bring your liver back to the right vibration. And that's what we're looking for. We're looking to have your body vibrating at a correct level. Obviously, these are very expensive. They're they're over £2,000. So people can't always afford them, but they can buy what NES introduced, which are what is called infoceuticals, and they are small bottles of mineral water which have been laser printed resonance that you need for a specific job, and you take 15 drops of those a day for a month, and then when you come back for the scan, normally that whatever that problem was is completely gone. And it also has a cascade effect down on the meridians, so it clears up a lot of other things as well. As you're doing one bit, it sort of comes down a cascade and clears other aspects. So that's the two ways that NES actually works. They do other things. They do meditation, CDs. They've got music, which is very healing. But the main things that work on is the My Health and the infoceuticals. So that is how we, treat our clients. So that's quite easy. I mean, I did a video a couple of weeks ago about the wand, the Iteric hair wand. Is that what you were referring to?
As well, yes.
There you go.
Because I know that lady who
what
was doing this bioscan. She was from bioscan. She came up with recipes what she needs to give me different remedies. I actually always end up with some bottle of remedies made specially for me from this scan.
Yeah. Yes.
That's as
exactly
well
right.
as referring.
And yeah. Well, the computer tells me what to prescribe in the recommendations, what that person needs for that particular scan. So it's a similar sort of process. I mean, she will gather from all her different bits and create a remedy for you with bioresonance, and I've had that done as well. But these come specifically for problems, and they're used for that, and then you gradually work through them during the course of the month. Normally 3 months, and it's most people out, so it's not too onerous.
Yeah, I think we can go deeper now. Maybe share.
Okay. Are you going to do that, or shall I?
I will do that, and you can do whatever needs to be done on your side.
Right. Have you got that? Have you got my scan in front of you?
Yes, I have your scan on front.
Excellent. Now, this is a scan of mine, which I did a little while ago, and I don't mind sharing it because obviously it's very good at explaining. I can explain what you need to do and how you need to do it, how to read this, and it's this is the result of the scan. Now, the scan is an easy process because now we've got the voice scan, which is even better still. I mean, it literally takes 10 seconds. And it can be done remotely, and then it's sent back to me. I review it, and then I send it out to the client, so the client can actually look at it and read it.
That's really, it's really like I at the moment speaking to you, and you can nicely make this scan, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely. This could be your scan. It could be anybody's scan, but this is, I did this because it's obviously personal. I'm doing it because it's mine, and I'm quite happy to share it with everybody. So it's not a problem. So when you're looking at this, across the top, if you're the energy source, the energy strength, and so on, right? Well, you've got all these different screens, and they've got sub screens as well. Whenever you come on to this first one, the best thing to do is to read what it says, because energy source is how you get your energy. So if you look at the results, my diet, hydration, movement, oxygenation, day, night, BFA and polarity. Now, the only one that I would even bother to look at is the BFA, because that's got 4 purple lines. Now that means it's
What
something.
is BFA?
Yeah, BFA. BFA is big field aligner, and what it is, it's energy from the ground, from the earth, and incoming energies as well. So if you read all that, it actually explains it to you. But if your BFA is out, it works on all sorts of different, it affects lots of other things, including your digestion, how you metabolize things. And so it's quite important that you actually address that problem, because it has this knock-on effect for everything else. And looking at the sub results, mine is an equatorial one, and if I click on that, and it's what it's saying. You can read all this for yourself, because I mean this is why it's so good. It's very, very self-explanatory. But the organs in the middle of the body, including the liver and the large intestine, are my weak spots, and I've always known that. So the metabolic process is reduced if that is not in balance. So when you look at these things, you're actually really just checking in to your body to see, and most of the time you will actually know that these things affect you. So that's it. You can click on anything. I mean, you can click on all of these. The BFA will tell you all about the big field aligner, and then obviously this will be the same. You can click on that to read more about that. I don't bother with any of these because they are, I don't look at anything unless it's 4 purples, to be perfectly honest, because
But
that is
how you actually now, okay, you have problem with this earth connection, yeah?
Yeah.
How you have to know what you need to do to balance this out?
Right. Well, when at the end, well, I was going to go through it all and then tell you how you get to resolve it. But basically, if you come over to the recommendations, if I go into that, it tells me the infoceuticals that I need to buy to remedy all the things that are a priority for me. So obviously BFA is there, my liver, my stomach, my immune system, and my nerve. So I have the answer, and I've also got ERs, which is the My Health function, and I can use that. So that's how you address it. But coming back to the energy source, so that one is pretty well straightforward. You can go into that and have a look for anybody that has a scan can actually. It's very, very self-explanatory. I mean, it's the volume of information which is a bit overawing, not the fact. You just need to spend a bit of time looking at it. So now we'll go on to energy strength. Now, the energy strength is in Chinese medicine. It's like you've got battery packs of energy, which when they're full up, life is ready to go. And the next one, this energy flow, is the movement of that energy through the body. So if you look at energy strength, I'm absolutely fine. I've got nothing that I would actually look at particularly at the moment. I mean, I've got heart imprinter, but only because I know what it is. So I'm absolutely. If you had 4 purples anywhere, and I've only got 3 orange there, but I click on that and have a look, see where it affects me, and go from there. Read up what's at the bottom, because there's always lots of information down here, for you to read up on, and how the infoceuticals work. So it's good in that respect. So then we go on to
if I coming to you, then
yes.
I getting on hands all this information.
I mean, you will get. I will send you your scan for you to look at. You know, and you can have it. It's yours. You've got to once you have a scan, you've got a portal in NES Health, so you can always go back and have a look at it. And if I see you in a second time, I can actually compare your results from the first one to the second one and the third, fourth, fifth. You know, as many as I want to. So I can do the comparison. You can't on your screen, but I can on mine. But you will have all this information to actually look at and read up on and act on. Really, you can act on it. So if we look at energy flow, now this is the battery packs are full up. So now we're looking at this flow of energy from that battery pack through the body, and my liver. And again, if you come down here, it will tell you about the energy flow and what it's doing. And then you go into the specific part, which is the liver, and then it will tell you, again, it will show you all of this. Now, this is all part of the liver meridian, and they come up with all these little bits of the liver meridian, which are not a problem, but they need attention. Now, my corpus luteus field is a 3. If it was a 4, I'd be, it's obviously that's the most important one. But the myocardium field is a 2. We heard a lot about myocarditis recently. This is a 2, and that's a 2. That's why that's a 4. The 4th. That's why that's got 4 purple stripes. And so that needs attention. And so again, you can read up on the energy flow, and then you look at your particular point. And if you were coming to me, obviously I'd do all this for you, but it's always good for you to read up on it before you come for a consultation anyway, because, then you know a bit about what I'm talking about, because otherwise it's really, really quite mind-blowing. So we go on to the mind and body. Now, this is split within look within and emotions. Now, when you have a trauma, the trauma is accepted by your brain as being a trauma, and normally the brain will actually sort it out and deal with whatever things, whatever it needs to do. But very occasionally it can't. And what it does then, after a period of time, it will allocate that trauma to a part of your body, and then these would come up. I'll click on this one just to show you. Now this is what this affects. Now I haven't got anything worth talking about. Look, this is a good one. I'm vulnerable. Now that's probably where that green is. And you have to say to yourself, where am I vulnerable? What am I vulnerable about? And when you say that to people, most people will actually sort of start to think about it and then come up with something where they are vulnerable. And when you know what that is all about, you then are able to deal with it. You can actually do something about it. But until you know, you can't. So, it's all about giving you indications where you've got to work on yourself. So it's really as simple as that, really. I mean, I've got this is these are feel good infoceuticals. They're separate to the recommendations mainly. ESR is emotional stress release, and this is wonderful for any stress related things. You take a few drops of that in a little drop of water and you're fine. It really does work as quickly as that. The liberator is an interesting one, because when you have things in your past which are holding you back for whatever reason, what this does is then brings them to the surface so you can deal with them, look at them, and then move on from them. It's quite interesting, that one. And then the bottom one, love. Do you love too much? Are you not loving yourself? There's so many different ways to look at these things, but it's an indication that it's something not balanced in your body. So you have to look at that. Emotions. Again, this is you find there's quite a lot of correlation between all these things, and obviously love is coming up as well. Am I do I love myself enough? Am I loved? Do I love other people? If I come down here, I've got a bit of guilt. Not quite sure what that's all about, and I probably wouldn't admit to it even if I did. But there's we all do things on whatever. Anyway, so it's something for you to look at, and it's not just guilt; it's embarrassment and disgrace or disgust or whatever. You can read it all up and see. But again, it's something for you to look at, and if necessary, we can give you an pharmaceutical to actually help you overcome those problems. Then we go on to energetic immunity. Now, this one and the next one and the stars, I never look at until somebody's been for at least 2 scans, because these are not single resonances, they are group resonances, and they are there to do different to a different job. So I won't bother going into those 2, because to a large degree they're a bit like homeopathic miasms. They can be memories in your body of something, or that you haven't resolved, lots of different things. But as I say, I don't really do anything with them until the 2nd or 3rd scan. So we go straight on to energy rejuvenation. Now, these are the points which really go with the recommendations. But if you've got an terahertz wand, which is brilliant, and I would recommend everybody has one. I'll show you that in a minute. You can actually use your terahertz wand on these points as well. So, and it shows you where they are. So the 63 is your cranial nerves, your peritoneum, your knees, your shoulder joints, and your rectum. So all those areas are needing attention, and they need it's more acute than anything else. MRs, again, you can't do anything about those because they are a function of the My Health, and obviously you can't do that without that. So I mean, I say that. I mean, all of this can be done remotely as well, Daiga. I don't know what you believe, but I mean, I know that I can do all this remotely for people as well. So it's really
I do, because I myself Reiki practitioner and EFT practitioner. So when I'm working with my clients, I always using Reiki. They don't even know it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I'm using Reiki energy on it.
Yeah.
So.
Yes. Well, as I say, I mean, I've done all this remotely, and it's worked beautifully. So, but some people can't accept that, but it really does work very, very well, as does
But I don't know how you find it. I find it on my doors knocking people who do believe in energy, who do believe in all this. Because if you don't believe this exists, then there's no point even start talking to me.
No, absolutely. The only thing I do find is probably with the Reiki and me with my bits and pieces. If you can stop somebody's pain, it doesn't matter what they believe. They're quite happy to have it done.
Yeah,
stop their pain. Or I mean, I had a torn meniscus on my knee, and there was nothing really that helped. Even all my gadgets. It wasn't until I got the terahertz one that I actually got, and it's completely healed now. Completely healed. I mean, I'm 77, and and I can go up and down, not downstairs quite so rapidly, but I can go upstairs absolutely fine now. I was saying to my daughter the other day, the only time I'm aware of my knees is when I get up and come downstairs first thing in the morning, and then I hold on because I feel a bit just have to think about it really, as I say. But it's brilliant. I mean, you get rid of people's pain and discomfort, and you make them feel well. Then there's it's amazing. So let's go on to the next one, which is the environment. Now this is, again, it needs to be read in its entirety down here, but you've got all these headings. You've got solvents, toxic metals, agriculture, food, mold, and radiation. A lot of this, I would say, you can't do anything about apart from be aware, because flame retardants. I mean, I don't know what, where. I mean, there's always your stuff that you can look up, and it will tell you, what the flame retardants are. But it's, you just need to be aware of it and going from there. If you've got a real problem, it will show up. Solvents is the same. Xylenes, you have to look to see what that's in and see if you can eradicate a few. Toxic metals, there's some which are worse than others. Agriculture, fungicides, obviously insecticides, herbicides, food, all of these, mold, see, very sarin. I mean, I have no idea. I don't need to bother reading this for myself, but you can look it all up, see if there's anything that pertains to what you do, how you work, what you work with, and if you are, then you've got to take it into consideration. Radiation. This is quite a good one because it shows you all your EMFs, your far infrared, radios. Blue light is another one which comes up quite often. Cell phones. So that's all worth looking at. Nutrition. This is an interesting one. So it shows you all your vitamins. And obviously I've got a problem with vitamin E. I've got to look at that one. But I also look down here and then I look at mineral fields. And it shows me all the phosphorus. There's something going on with phosphorus. Now, I don't know how you check yourself, Daiga, but when I have clients with me, I always teach them how to do kinesiology. Have you heard of the sway test?
When you are picking up almond and then when it's going down or it's staying up, you're talking about that?
Well, yeah, but the way I do it is I get somebody just to stand upright and I say, is my name Pat? And I will fall forward automatically. You can't not do it. It just happens. You fall forward, and that is your yes answer. And if you fall backwards, it's your no answer. So I can say because all of this is about, do I need phosphorus? Have I got too much phosphorus? Or am I not absorbing phosphorus? And you can ask those three questions and get an answer, and then you know where you are in that particular problem.
For myself, I always using pendulum.
Yeah, same thing. It's just that I find as a therapist, when people come to you, if you can put the power back into their court, if you can get them to answer their own questions, they're much happier to go with that. And I mean, they trust you obviously to do whatever it is you're doing. Excuse me, but I just like putting the power back to the people, really, and I find that's a very good way of actually doing it. I mean, I
never hear about falling forwards or backwards. That one I never hear.
Yeah, you want to try it when we finish because it does work and it's very, very good, and all of your audience can try it as well. If it doesn't work, and it's very rare that it doesn't work, you can actually program yourself to tell you to fall forward on a positive note. So a little example, I said it to one lady and I said, just say, oh, my name is thing. And she fell backwards. And I said, that's strange. She said, is it because I'm adopted and it wasn't my adopted name? It was really, it wasn't her name. So the answer was no. When she asked with her given birth name, it said yes. So, it's very, very, very good. But you can program yourself. You stand there and you say, okay, I'm going to fall forward when I ask myself, is my name Pat? And you will do it. And then backwards as well. So,
when I learned pendulum.
Yeah.
I thought that always yes is forward, yeah, and no is like this. But then when I'm now doing my shows, and speak to many people who doing many things. Yeah,
Yeah.
I actually find the pendulum as well is like you ask pendulum, will it be yes this way or will it be yes that way?
Yeah, I know. I think it's just your. I mean, it's what you're making of it, isn't it? It's your interpretation of your own reaction to whatever it is you're using. So I think it doesn't really matter. You can have it. I always with a pendulum. I always go around in circles. If it goes around one way, it's a yes, and if it goes around the other way, but I'm not particularly experienced enough. I can do it, but I'm not confident enough in myself
But
to do
you
that.
know that pendulum was very, very first thing what I learned when I was in school. And
Yeah,
I don't have memory anymore how I learned. But I
yeah,
know when I finished school and from that moment forward, I done all my exams with pendulum. I
really.
learned literally one exam ticket, yeah, everything spotless.
Wow,
And
amazing.
that's how I go through exams.
That's very good. It's very clever.
Yeah, and
I never thought
I
about
have
that.
no I have no knowledge where I started and how I started, don't remember. But
Mm,
I know that with pendulum I've been doing all my life, and when it's
mm,
some stressful moments, yeah,
mm,
right
mm,
away pendulum is in hands, and will I get through this? Will everything be fine? Everything end up fine? And when pendulum says everything will be fine, no problems, yeah,
yeah, yeah.
don't worry about it, that's it, straight away, okay, fine,
Yep.
I'll
And
be
then you can
fine,
find it. Mm,
yeah, I can calm
amazing.
down.
Good. Yeah, I mean, it's it's they are. It is. I mean, we know everything. This is the thing. We know everything. It's just accessing it, isn't it?
And remembering, I
Yeah.
think that's the case because all I believe that all our memory is erased at that moment when we come into this world.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yes, it
we
does.
need
Yes,
to
it does.
remember.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Yes. I mean, that's part of the human experience, isn't it? That we do it. That we live this life. Um, from the point of learning from the day we're born, sort of thing. So yeah, I think you're right. It's a shame, really. If we knew what we knew over the generations, I mean, we'd be laughing, wouldn't we?
Yeah. Even
Anyway,
even now I coming up with question what I supposed to be doing. Am
oh
I
yeah,
on the right way? Am I doing right thing?
yeah,
Yes,
I
still.
know. I know that's a never ending question. That is. I think providing your intention is good, and you follow your heart, things will be fine. But anyway, can we get back to this because it takes so
Yeah.
long because there's still loads more to do. Um,
Okay.
Obviously, in the nutrition field, you've got minerals, vitamins, fat fields, proteins, and antioxidant fields, which you can have a look at all of those. That's individually they would tell you what you need to be looking at, and then you go to do digestion, your metabolism, and my protein metabolism isn't particularly good. Needs to have something done about that. But you've also got malabsorption and blood oxygenation, and so again, it gives you an idea of what you should be taking to get your blood oxygenation and also the metabolism. Oh no, not metabolism. The malabsorption is to do with my BFA again. This is why I said to you that if your big field aligner is out, it has an effect on lots of other things. So that if I took BFA, that will have cleared. Well, it will have cleared by now. So that's got to be good. Then we go on to sensitivities, and again, you've got food allergies, non-fixed sensitivities, and immune system. And again, you can come down here. Gluten grains. I'm insensitive. I'm sensitive to rye. Other grains, millet, legumes, no, I'm fine on them. Tree nuts, fine on them. Citrus fruits, I've got a sensitivity to grapefruits, and I wonder whether that is because my thyroid was a bit out at some stage or other, and I do occasionally take iodine, and you shouldn't be eating grapefruit, because grapefruit in fact, you should eat grapefruit, to stop your iodine deficiency. So that could be that for me. Nightshades, everything's that, and other eggs. There you go. Fine. But again, you can see the range of things that it picks up for you, which is quite amazing. So they're all worth investigating. And then you go on your life journey. Now this is about, what's going on in your life and everything else. And this is what I was saying, they're words which you can actually go to look at. So this one, you've got all of these. I mean, but we start with this life purpose. And obviously with this, I've got intuition, which I need to do I use my intuition enough is probably the answer, and the wisdom to use that intuition. It's amazing the conversations I have with clients about these words, because they evoke different things in different people. So it's about questioning yourself. Next one is be the change, and again, there's all these words to look at, and if they come up, they're obviously, it's how you are changing in your life, how you're progressing, how you're ascending, how you're learning your lessons, basically. I mean, they're all words which actually make you stop and think. Then we go on to hero's journey. Now, the hero's journey, as far as I'm concerned, is the 12 labors of Hercules, and that again is about your journey through to ascension. And again, I've got a thing here for wisdom. I have to answer that. Am I using my time wisely? What does wisdom mean to me? And what am I going to do about it? So it's all about questioning yourself. It really raises so many different things. Archetypes. Now this is a Freudian thing. Philosopher and a builder. Well, yes, I do. Philosophy is something that I have done forever. I like to actually philosophize about things. Builder. I don't know what that actually, how that would apply to me. But again, there's all the mystic, ruler, philosopher, so on and so forth, all the way down. You're an archetype, and you need to look at that. And again, you're trying to achieve balance. Beliefs. Now this is a lovely one, because actually it makes you just think about things. And are you capable? Can you be helped? We're all I'm very, very bad at accepting help. And it takes a lot for me to even think that I need help, let alone, accept help. So, but we all have to, and people like to help you. And I think you have to realize that by asking for help sometimes, you're doing people a favor, because you're allowing them to do something for you when perhaps you've been doing things for them. So it's all about, examining and looking at the nitty-gritty of the words that actually are there and picked up. So emotions, love again, and the guilt. Again, they have different things. You need to read up on it, and you can actually sort of decide for yourself. And then there's transformations. It's depicted as chakras, but it isn't really. It is about you as a person and how you're transforming, because we all know that we start at the base chakra and work our way up to the top, and it's perhaps a little bit on where you are on that journey. So that's what they unconscious patterns. This is a funny one. Again, I don't actually know an awful lot about this one, to be perfectly honest. It's just been one of those things. When you look at it and you identify the magician. I've been called a witch forever, because I've done everything from aromatherapy to making creams to potions and things are my forte. So it's just recognizing yourself really. Creative cycle again. It gives you an idea of what you are you communicating well. Am I animated enough, or am I too animated? It's one of those things which you need to look at and identify for yourself. So that's the information that you get, and then obviously, if I've got clients, then I the first thing is, if you've got a wand, the energy rejuvenation fields are where I would wand. But for the NES stuff, that's all down here, and you buy them direct from the company, and that's it really. So does that talk? Didn't mean to do that.
Yeah, it's very interesting. It's just how amazing it is that you actually managed to get all this information from voice now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I can understand from hair or nails. Okay, I could understand that, but from voice, how you
But then,
can
as you
tell
said,
about...
Yeah, but as you said, Daiga, if you can remote heal, how does that work? It's scalar waves. I'll stop sharing the screen now because we don't need to look at that anymore, do we? I'll come back to you. Yeah. There's something called scalar waves, which I've known about for about about 20 years. They're really, really way out there. I mean, it's real. I mean, it's more in the news nowadays. But when I first heard about them, I didn't know anything about it at all. But scalar waves, and it's a bit like the MRs. As you have a wave, it carries information on it, and that is what the voice scan is. It's a wave of information that just goes through the ethers. Brilliant, isn't it?
It is. It's really. I really suggest everybody who is listening our chat today and who will be listening this in future. Pat's email address is below in description, so you can all contact her and get the scan and find out what's happening with you.
Well, as I say, yeah.
I have wand as well. I TerraCare wand.
Yeah.
And just one question about my personal things. I at the moment dealing with my partner's knee. His knee is quite bad, swollen and very painful. And what would you suggest? I wounding the knee and around area of leg. What else? What any other points you would suggest to wound?
Well, I would first of all make sure you do the protocol. So you're doing your hands, which is you're clearing the meridians, and your feet the same. You do your lymph system, because if that swollen knee will need lymph drainage to get rid of the swelling. So I would certainly but do both knees, Daiga, because one of the other things I did many years ago was polarity therapy, whereas you're working opposites to opposite all the time. So shoulder to ankle, knee to elbow. There's lots of different things, and it's always worth doing both knees to actually have an effect. So I would certainly do that, but I would do definitely and the groin area, because that will feed into the lymph system on his knee as well. So I would certainly do that. So I'd do the whole protocol, and then his knee afterwards, basically, or both knees afterwards. You do your knees anyway in the protocol, but just give an extra bit of time. And but coming back to why I associate the wand with the NES is I knew that when people started to do this, use the wand, they were happy to do the protocol and the bits that they felt needed it, pain and goodness knows what else. But after that, there's no way of knowing which bits you should be working on. And what I realised was that this scan actually tells you where to wand. And so what I want, my original plan was that I would offer the scan to people, and then they could wand their own points, and it wouldn't be such an expensive thing. I mean, but there's so much information in there. You read it, you can read it for yourself, and come up with all your own answers. If you need a consultation, obviously I do a 30-minute consultation for 30 quid. But I hope by doing these videos I can explain to people for them to read it for themselves. I don't want everything to be money orientated. It's a self-help thing. This is. So yeah,
that's actually my aim with my starting to do videos is to show people and teach people as much as I can about selfless people who are happy to help.
Yes.
I'm not approaching high level 2000 per session people, who is there somewhere, in that cloud nicely floating, I want to talk with normal, ordinary people who at the moment is struggling like hell.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
And
so
we know that the wand works really well with some of the side effects of the vaccinations that have been handed out recently, and we've actually got something physical to offer people which doesn't cost the earth. I mean, the wand is just not that expensive for what it is. You've got a complete body healing piece of equipment for what is it, about 400
about 400.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, there's nowhere that you can go. I mean, if you came to see me 4 times, or 6 times, you'd be paying for that. Whereas really, you can heal yourself. We've got to put these things back into the hands of the people who, once they understand what it does, it can help them no end.
Yeah. Do you want to share something else, Pat, today?
I think I've done enough talking. They must be fed up with listening to me talk.
No, I don't think so. Anyone is fed up. I think it was very, very interesting and very much learning material for people.
I think the only other thing that the world is such a chaotic place at the moment. I would just like to say to everybody, good times are coming. We are coming into a time of beauty and peace and abundance. It might take a year, but it's coming, and for everybody to hang on to that, because I have known that for 20 years that it's coming, but I've watched all the signs and I know now it's imminent. So, just take heart and the fact that we are going into a golden age, and it will be wonderful.
Thank you very much for that, because I know in me it is coming, but I think I don't believe anymore it will come in a year or 2 or 3, because how it's going at the moment, whole system has to go down first.
Well, I think that's on its way, but it will still be very chaotic, but we'll be able to see the wood for the trees, and you'll be able to. I was told 20 years ago that this would happen, and I've been waiting for it, like all of us. We see things degenerate, but I think a lot of it is smoke and mirrors at the moment, and I think there's a lot of people who are not aware of what's going on behind the scenes, and really they've got to wake up to the fact that there is a lot going on which is even worse than what we know about. But at the same time, it's being dealt with. Everything is being dealt with, and once that's all done, we will be in a place of wonder. And that's what I want for everybody.
I do believe in this, and I hanging on for this because I one of those who are not watching TV already some
No.
3 years at least. I don't have a clue about news. Also, I'm not interested in going in different who says this, who says
No.
that, whatever. I'm completely out of that as well. But I time and time again I'm checking like I'm in one of the Telegram groups, Humani Pro Telegram group, where is uh, lots of different topics, yeah, and
Yeah,
I
yeah.
try to check like what is about England, what is about money, what is about RV, what is about Gesara Nesara, yeah,
Hmm.
and you know what I find? I don't know who does believe in this, but there is constantly some posts, yeah. Oh, today,
Mm.
today in the changing exchange center, already people is on alert. And over weekends they've been working, and tomorrow it will all go on, yeah.
Mm.
And it's
Mm.
been going on similar versions of same message.
Yeah,
I'm every time when
couple of
I'm put,
years.
yeah,
I've been
it's
listening to that for 2 years. Yeah.
I think the one person of those, which one really now irritates me extremely is Mark Z
Oh.
with his hat and him changing one hat and another hat and everything is coming now. I remember
Mm.
very greatly last Easter. On last Easter, I think 8th of April or something, everything going, everything green light, everything going.
Mm.
Sorry, we're still in same spot.
Mm.
And those people who have no clue about
No,
anything, what's going underneath,
no, no,
they still don't.
no. It was quite funny though, because my daughter is up in Birmingham at the moment, and she went into the bank to get her Barclays Bank card checked or something. I don't remember. And she said, and she's got some dinar, and she said, "Oh, uh, can I exchange my dinar yet?" And he said, "No." He said, and he showed her the screen. He said, "But when I get that tick, you can." So it's
So
imminent.
they are ready.
They're ready.
They are sort of
Fingers
ready.
crossed. And
I
then,
know,
I was just going to
I
say, and
know.
at that point, I think we're going to get Nasara Jasara, and we will have all these healing modalities and all the other things
Okay,
which we're
and now
big
I
on.
have goosebumps.
Yeah.
Now I
Yeah.
have goosebumps, so that means something is coming. Thank
Yeah.
you, actually, for putting me back in more positive because I was thinking with listening this Mark Z, it will be now. It will be
I,
now.
I,
It will
I, I listen to them all, and it's like information that I put out. Just put that bit there, and that bit there, and that bit there, and that bit there. And if it all comes together, that's fine. But there are signs that things are moving. So, that's all you can do. You can't rely on anything. But that was very interesting what my daughter did. So it was really good.
Yeah, that's brilliant news.
Mm.
Thank you very much, Pat, for coming.
Oh,
And
my
I
pleasure.
will be in touch with you.
Yes.
If
Okay then.
anything else new comes up and you start doing something else, and please contact me.
Okay, my
and
dear.
and everybody, please remember, both of us are taking in clients. Pat obviously explained to you what she's doing, and I'm taking you in clients for coaching therapy. So please, if you need support, please come to us. We are not extremely expensive. I'm at the moment working since uh, all pandemic and everything. I'm working on what you can afford. So I try help everybody who knocks on my doors. So thank you very much for watching. Please don't forget like, share and subscribe to my YouTube video channel. And from our cards to yours, thank you and Goodbye.